Okay. Make sure I'm live in here so I can see y'all. Yep, okay. Okay. So you can go to the store and you can get ones like this. It already comes with the foam on it, so this is $10. This one, okay, is $5, and then this, of course, is pennies. So you can make your own just by getting your styrofoam and buying one of these, or you can buy one of these that already has the styrofoam attached. So see, it has the little pieces through it. Okay. So I want to show you how to do your own, just in case you would rather do that. Hello. Okay. I got this from Hobby Lobby. You can get them from Sims, but I think you have to be there to get it. So. Alright. What I usually do. Hey Brenda, how are you feeling? I saw you weren't feeling well. There they are. Now you can get much bigger ones, but these are just floral pens. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to put them in here. All the way down. Okay. You can also zip tie them on. So what I'm going to do is kind of run it around the side like this. This is just to make sure it's going to be secure. I'm going to pull it a little bit. There you go. Okay. Alright, so I thought I had a, see, now that's not going to come off. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is put, let's put one. Now let's put both. I'm going to put both of these underneath, and I'm going to bend this up just a tad. Okay. So you can see these are made to go on the tombstones, right? So you would squeeze them and they grip. You're still really sick. Oh, I'm so sorry. That stinks. Now, you can make a really decent profit on these, and let me tell you how. So what you need to use is ficus leaves and leather leaf. Now, leather leaf looks different than this, but I couldn't find mine. I even went in Narnia. I don't know where it is. It's here somewhere, but I don't know where. And then you use like a bunch, right, that has a whole bunch. You really need about 25 florals, okay? So we'll start off. Oh, and let me first say this. You want the kind of less expensive florals because the color is going to last longer. You want the outdoor ribbon that is like kind of like plastic. This stuff is not very fun to work with. However, it does not fade like the other ribbons do. Okay, so it's made to go outdoors. It's really made for like weddings and funerals. Okay, Oh, and I have a recipe for this that I learned a long time ago, and I will give y'all the recipe after this. I even have it written up. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take the ficus leaves and we're going to cut right here in the middle. We're going to kind of fold it over a little like this. That's the end. This is the middle. And you do want them spread out. Okay, let's trim some of this off. I don't know what Facebook's doing. Okay, well, there it goes. I don't know what that was this. Hey, Susan. Alright. So the reason that you use these specific supplies, ficus leaves, they're at the most, what, $1 a piece? Maybe $1.25. The leather leaf, I want to tell you what's great about the leather leaf. The leather leaf, you get 144 for like $14. So I'm really upset that I can't find mine because this isn't exactly what we need, but we're going to have to make do. Okay. When I couldn't find it, I went on and ordered some new. I know it's up in Narnia, but I just cannot figure out where they put it. So we're going to have to just make do with what we got. It's kind of similar to this in that it's like plastic, but you can see it's really a lot cheaper. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the top off like this. Okay. So we're going to have this piece, and leather leaf is much wider than this, okay? This is just a plastic leaf, but we're going to make it work because that's what we got. Okay. There. There. What is going on? I may have to get on my phone. Okay, there. So when I said I have a recipe, what I basically have is the amounts of everything you need, where you're going to place them, etc. I learned this a long time ago when I was at one of my very first sim show, and I religiously wrote everything down, and I went through my little notebooks this morning and found it because I remember how to do it, but I think it's just easier if you have like a little recipe. Okay, so we're going to start. This would be considered a double saddle because you're going to be going all the way out here, so you can charge more. That's really what that means. You're going to go and you're going to place this inside. All right, like that. Kind of have it draped down like this. The only reason I put it on these is just so it'll stay still a little bit easier. All right. When I used to go to the sim shows, they used to do more, this is how you do this is how you do this kind of thing. Now it's more just, look what supplies we have. But here's what's important. These two need to be the same length or else you're not going to have balance. Okay? You're going to put this right in the center. And you're going about midway down or so. Okay. And people really like, yeah, I used one zip tie. That'll hold it. People really like to use, of course, fake flowers for the cemeteries because, of course, the fresh flowers are going to go out immediately. So this is a really good thing for you to know how to do. Okay? All right. So we've got our ficus leaves in. That's all the ficus you're going to need. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your leather leaf and you're going to take just the top, okay? And you're going to go on either side. I'm going to pull one little piece off so I can get it in there. On either side of the bottom. You're going to go on either side of the ficus. Okay. The trick to this is to spend as little money as possible because it's going to be out in the elements. And honestly, what does better is going to be the more plasticky type florals. So keep that in mind. You pretty much want the plasticky ones. Hey, Susie. Okay. So right there. All right. Now, I'm going to put these two here. And then we will have used 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. All right, now, remember we cut off the top part. Now we're going to take what we have left and we're going to start in the middle, one going in this direction, okay, one going in the other direction. Okay, like this. When you're cutting your stuff to go in, the best thing to do is cut it at an angle because it's going to stay in better. All right, then you want to put some up top. So I'm going to go in every corner like this. This line that we established at the top is going to be as high as we want this to go. So none of the flowers should go over where we have our leaf, right? You can go taller, but whatever line you have here, that's where you don't want your flowers to go over that. Okay. All this does is fill in. Remember, this is a really inexpensive wreath, so And you want it to be bit. I know. It's terrible, you're still not feeling good. I hate that. My mom kind of had a rough day. Alright, so I'm going to put just a few more. Because these are not quite as big as the leather leaf. And I want to make sure I'm going to cover enough. I'm just kind of putting it randomly. Okay. Alright, now it's a game of building on top of what we've done. Okay. So I usually use about 6 to 7 leather leaves. They are a little bit wider than what we have here. You're gonna need about 25 flowers. So I got this whole bundle here. I actually went over to Hobby Lobby and grabbed it. It was 50% off and I got it for, what, $10. Okay, so $10. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these flowers off and I'm going to organize them. Because the trick to this is to putting it in one type at a time. Okay. Right, so we have roses. We have, I don't know if these are supposed to be geraniums or hydrangeas. Not sure. Won't matter. We have some filler flowers. Wonder if that, I'm thinking this is supposed to be on this. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Alright. See, these are nice little filler flowers. Looks like we're missing a few. It's okay. We should have plenty. And I got a little extra just in case I needed some more. Okay. I like to have at least 3 different kinds of flowers. These are bigger roses. So what we may do is put some of these smaller ones in. But let's start with these lilies. Lilies are a great thing to use for anything, of course, with the cemetery. Okay. What you're going to do with the lilies is you're going to put it in, but you need to make sure that your 2 sides are going to match exactly. So what I like to do is put my flowers together, make sure I have 2 that are the same length like this. Okay, and it's going to go right in the middle. Okay, kind of bend it down. Okay, right in the middle. These little leaf things I'm going to kind of push towards the center just to fill in. Whoops. Just to fill in, you know, some of that in the center. Okay, then you're going to take and you're going to go in between 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, like this. So kind of in between, and that's too long, hold on. In between your 2 leather leaves. Okay. Okay, like this. So you don't want anything to go longer than that. Okay. Okay. This off a little. Yeah. Poor mama. She's really had a rough time. Can't believe they did that crap to us today. Alright, so we've got the lilies on. I have 1 lily left. I'm going to save that and we're going to use that towards the end to fill in. Okay? You can put it in if you want in the center. But remember, you don't want anything above the highest point, which it really should be a little taller than this, but we don't have a little leaf, so we'll just put that one. Let's just put that one in the center. So then we can use that to see what height we're gonna have. Okay, now let's do these smaller roses. I like these smaller roses. Let's use the blue and the red. One more red. Okay. Now we're going to go in between those. Okay. So one. I want to do, let's pull this up a little bit. One here in the middle. I'm going to do one lower. That one I want longer because I'm going to drape it. You want one draping. This. So right underneath that one, like that. See, and it shouldn't go below that. Okay. One. I like to kind of just pick a point and then I'm going to do that. Okay. Yeah, so what happened is they told us, we went in and he said, "You're really anemic." And she said, "I know, I feel terrible." And he said, well, mostly he just stood there and looked at his computer. And then he was like, well, you know, let's send you over and get you a blood transfusion. But we'll recheck your numbers. So we said, okay. And then we got over to the hospital, started to get registered. And they said, oh, he changed his mind. Your blood looks like it's coming back up a little bit, so we're not going to do the transfusion. After we had already gone all the way over to the hospital, Lord. All right, so I'm going to put it here. It was just crazy. Okay. And I'm going to alternate the colors here. Okay. Alright, so we've done 7 of the lilies, 8 of the roses. I want to do 2 more roses on the ends. Okay. Alright. Kind of here. Alright. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a triangle. So we have 1, 2 flowers here, so we need 1 here. And that's going to create our triangle. Okay? And remember, we don't want the flowers up here to be too tall. About like that. So 1, 2, 3. See that triangle? This is where the triangle stuff comes in. If you've ever heard stay in a triangle, this is where it comes from. Okay. There we go. So 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Okay. You can kind of go in at an angle. 1, 2, 3. So see how we have 1, 2, 3. Kind of tripped. Okay. Have any of y'all ever done one of these? Okay, so 1, 2, 3. See how it's starting to fill in? Okay. Now we're going to start with our filler. Okay. So the filler, we're going to start going in between. We have 2 kinds of filler here. Let's cut some of these up. Oh, we had 1 more. Let me just hold on to it. Okay. I swear, I think half the battle of this one is just cutting everything. I think that's half the battle of all florals. Okay. So one of these you can usually get like $75 to $85 for it. And we didn't spend anywhere near that. Okay. So now we're going to take our filler and we're going to start going kind of in between. Okay. So we'll start at the top. There. I'm going to go in the bottom. So like right in here. Okay. Right in here. Okay. So we're going to leave kind of this section right here empty because that's where we'll put our flower. Our ribbon. I said flower. That's where we'll put our ribbon. Okay. There. Here. Let's put our white ones up top. One there. Here. We've got our red rose here. Let's put that one in there. Okay. These two red roses over here, or white roses over here. So, one there. Whoops. One there. Look how pretty that's looking. Let's see if I can pull this up a little. Okay, we've got one more little filler. So let's see, where do we need our filler? So we're going to put our bow in here. So we don't really need anything in there. That was right here. That's where we need it. Okay. Right in this little section. There we go. Now if you can see some of your, if you're using the real leather leaves, you're probably not going to see it because they're a lot bigger. But if you do, you can put a little bit of moss in there and that'll take care of it. Alrighty. And I will put the recipe in the group so y'all can see it. Now, let's talk about this ribbon for a minute. The reason they still make this ribbon, and it is unwired, okay, it's not wired ribbon, it's plastic, and when you wrinkle it, it stays wrinkled. So you have to be careful with this ribbon, because if you make a mistake, you can't go back. So the trick to this, okay, is to do, look, I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay. So what we're going to do is, like, if we did 6-inch loops. Okay, let's do a 26-inch tail. 26. Okay, trim that off. Okay, here's the trick. You're going to go out 12 inches. Okay, let's go 14. And you're going to bend this bend. Let's see, how many do we want? That's 2. Let's see, that's 4, right? 6, 8. I think that might do it. Let's do one more. All right, I'm folding it on top of itself. Okay. Trim it off. Now, I'm going to find the center. And then I'm going to cut in on both sides. I like to cut slightly at an angle because to me it feels like it's not going to come apart. Okay, and then for these kind of bows, I generally use the stem wire. It's just a little bit easier to use when you're doing a bow like this. If I can get one out. Okay, a couple out. All right. So you take your stem wire. You're gonna go right around where you cut it. Bending it up is not going to hurt it. And then you're going to twist that wire. And here's what you're going to do. You're just going to take and pull it out. This is just the little piece at the bottom, so just move that out. This ribbon is kind of weird. So you want to pull it and twist it. So kind of twist it right at that little thing. And that's going to help keep it separated. So pull it, twist it. See how that pulls it out separate? Okay. Trim that off, like that. So pull it, twist it. Just like that. Twist it. Okay. Then you're going to take your piece that we cut. Pinch it up. You'll put it at the bottom. Okay, you're gonna need one of your little greenery pens for this. Okay. So what I like to do is wind it all the way down as far as I think I'm gonna put it in. Then I'm going to cut this at an angle. See, like that? I'm going to dip it in my glue. Alright. So here is where our little space for our bow is. So I'll take my pliers and I'll get down in there and push it down in. Okay. Then I'm going to take these and I'm going to move them around the flowers. Okay. This. Okay. Let's I'm just kind of moving it over to the side here. All right, let's get each one of these. The problem with this unwired stuff is exactly that. It's unwired. Okay. You can also take some, like, you know, maybe 12-inch pieces. Let's do that. Alright, so similar to what we do when we're making other bows. I must have knocked it off when oh! There's the other flower I thought I had. Ah, look at that. I'm gonna put it down here. I knew I was missing something. There. Much better. Okay. Oh, hey, Mama. I didn't know you were in here. Okay. So I'll get another stick out. I'm going to trim it off. About like that. Then I'll pinch it up. Wrap it around, but I'm also going to use some of this wire just to secure it. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to kind of place it in here. Remember, when you're doing things like this, you want to place it where the bow, in the direction the bow is. So see, that's where the little ribbon's coming out. It doesn't like that piece. If you go to find this ribbon, the way they call this ribbon is they call it number 40. So you can't tell them a measurement. You've got to say, I want the number 40 ribbon. There we go. Let's do a couple at this end. Don't think we need as long. this end over here, maybe about 10 inches. And this ribbon will keep its color for a really long time. Let me get another line out here. Another stick. I will tell you, it's a lot cheaper to buy these here than it is to buy those pick machine picks. They are kind of pricey. And pokey. Ooh. Okay, so I'm putting it in here, and then I'm going to kind of weave it around my ribbon around my florals. And part of what it's going to do is it's going to camouflage some things, and it's just going to help cover things up. Yeah, I don't like my pick machine either. I'd rather use these. They don't take that much longer. So we probably have $30 in this retail. So if you bought this wholesale, it would be less than that. Let's see, where do we want put this one? No, we may not need that. Well, let's put it over here. There. There we go. All right. That's it. We're done. Okay, so you don't need these pieces. There it is. So you can see what it looks like. So you've got the little draperies that go, you know, across the tombstone. And then you have these. You want to kind of bend those up a little. See, you've got the bow in there, kind of all gathered and pulled throughout. Do you like your, yeah, I know you like your pick machine, because you like to do those individually. I know. So y'all, these are really popular and probably would do very well. I don't think there are very many people that make these and list them. So this would probably go in like a 30 by 20 box. Just in case you thought about making something like this. We're going to be doing, where did I put it? We're going to be doing one of these next. So this is the flower vase that goes in. Yeah. So we'll be doing this next so that you kind of have an idea. And then after that, I think we're going to do some wedding bouquets, because I want y'all to have some things to do besides just the normal everyday thing, because it'll help expand expand your knowledge. Awesome. Do you have any questions? Feel like. No, that's good. You know what? I ordered the wrong picks the last time. So they don't even fit in my machine. They don't even fit in my machine right now. So. Alright, y'all. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this. And we'll do something fun next time, too. We'll do something matching. Yeah. And I actually have a plan to use with this one. So we're going to make these little pieces, which we have to make it a little bit bigger. But I want to make these little pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some mesh and put it kind of around it and then build the flowers up on top of it. So it'll be a little bit different looking than the, you know, the normal ones. It is a saddle. It's just a saddle with styrofoam on it. See, you can't see inside. See? Awesome. Bend some of this out a little. There we go. Alright, well, I hope y'all have a great weekend. Yeah, this is going to be fun. We're going to make these for, of course, for the little cemetery flowers, and for candlestick holders, so that you can do little bits with that too. So yeah, we're constantly working on things nowadays. Y'all too, I will see you guys next week. You're fit.